So did the government shutdown end? Not yet.
Not exactly.
They're working on it. The Senate was working on it.
It has to go through a House committee, moves out of committee, goes to the full House. There's a vote, a debate. There's still, what do you call it, procedures they have to go through.
Yeah, it's still going to take some time.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions that we can answer now is how long will it take air travel to get back to normal?
Well, according to,
because I'm going to give you the inside.
Oh, you got the insider. So can I give you the, I'll give you the macro.
Yes.
Okay.
Because my wife is in the air
literally
this week, and wait until you hear the story.
Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. He's
the reality star. Yes.
He's one of them. Yeah, there's many of them there. Said that, so keep in mind,
okay,
the percentage of canceled flights went up today. Remember, It's still on a schedule, right, and it's supposed to reach 10% by Friday if the government hasn't reopened. So it went from 4, 6, 8, 10%. Every couple of days it goes up another percent, a couple percentage points. But he said that even if the government shutdown ends, quote unquote, immediately, there's still going to be disruptions, and he says it could actually go through Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Everything doesn't get back to normal when these jokers in D.C. decide they're going to do their job. It takes a while. I mean, today the Supreme Court, no more SNAP benefits. We're not going to do those. They're not going to be released. Mm-hmm. That was the big news earlier today. So Trump gets his way on that, keeping food for people.
Trump wants to fire air traffic controllers who called in sick.
Good luck.
And, well, the Secretary of Transportation, if he wants to keep his job, has to do what Trump wants. So he says they're looking at possibly firing controllers who called out more than once.
But he also wants to give a $10,000 bonus to those who worked, and my question would be this. Are you going to give those $10,000 bonuses to the TSA workers?
To who showed up for work as well?
I don't think that was included.
Where does that money come from, by the way?
He was asked that question.
Oh.
And he said, I don't know.
Oh, wow. That's a shocking development.
Again, something he could just be throwing out there. But
yeah, if he wants to pay for it out of his own pocket, knock yourself out.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So
you can't fire air traffic controllers. There are not enough of them.
When you have a shortage.
Right now.
Right. There's already, we had a shortage of air traffic controllers prior to the government shutdown.
Right.
And we were having issues with air traffic control before the government shutdown. Then it got worse.
Right. And why did some of them decide to call out sick here and there? Because they couldn't pay their rent. You didn't pay them for 2 months.
Yeah, they weren't getting paid.
We talked to a TSA worker from Phoenix yesterday, single mom of 3.
Yeah,
on the show. Yeah, she's awesome. And she hasn't gotten a paycheck since September.
Wow.
And now her apartment complex wants to evict her.
Right. She got an eviction notice because they didn't care that she's a government worker.
So you know what? If that were me, guess what? I'd be calling in sick. If I were a TSA worker, I'd be calling in sick. Why? Not getting paid. And so I'm going to go drive an Uber. I'm going to make some money so I can feed my kids. That's what I'm going to do. And now you want to fire me over it?
Well, air traffic controllers are apparently set to get 70% of their back pay within 2 days of the government reopening.
And they'll get the 30 later, just like the TSA?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, at some other point they will get made whole because they're supposed to be. That's a law. It passed in 2019 that furloughed workers or workers who worked without pay must receive 100% of their pay. Back pay when the government reopens. Yeah. So what's the insider scoop?
Well, I mean, I can tell you from my wife, who's a flight attendant, and I did not want her to fly this week, but it's the job, and so.
Well, okay, so why? You were.
Oh, it's a mess, dude.
Just because of it's all crazy out there.
Gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I did the princess pickup, I like to.
I did not know that's what it was called.
That's what it's called.
But when you go to pick up a flight attendant.
Or drop them off.
Like curbside.
They call that.
The flight attendants call that princess pickup.
So I dropped her off at the airport on Monday.
Princess pickup.
Okay.
Princess drop off.
Right, yeah. right. And so it's, what time? What are we thinking? Maybe she had to be there at 1 or something like that. Okay. And I'm thinking this is going to be a truly long day. And she knew it going in. Mm-hmm. they do a couple different, I guess she had one leg. They call that. So she flew from here across the country into New York.
Okay. So she did one long flight. Got it.
The flight, I don't remember when it was supposed to take off, but what I do know, it was several hours delayed, because I think there was a ground stop in one of the airports in the New York, New Jersey area.
LaGuardia and Newark had ground stops, yeah.
So when I dropped her off, so just imagine you start your job at 1 o'clock here.
Well, you say that. Can I ask a question? Because I've heard these stories. She doesn't actually get paid, though.
No.
When there's a delay.
Sometimes, correct.
She only gets paid when the door to the airplane closes.
Right.
Is
Most of the airlines
right?
have that rule.
Right. So if the door's still open and they're sitting at the gate and they're delayed,
you're doing it for
the flight
free.
attendants are not getting paid for that. Doesn't count as work.
So she basically reported at 1 p.m. And she got into her hotel room at 3:30 a.m.
In New York. 3:30 a.m.
3:30 a.m. It's a long day.
And then I'm assuming had to get up the next day and go back to the airport.
Yeah. Yep.
What was her schedule today? So she left New York today. I'm assuming she's left.
She did leave. But she says the passengers are doing the best that they can. They're trying to remain calm. And so you would think that...
Well, I don't think they're blaming the airline and the flight attendants for the idiocy. But they're not happy.
If I'm flying, I'm not going to take it out on people, but I'm probably going to be in a raw mood.
Bit of a pill?
A bit of a pill, if you will.
Okay.
I think that, the government obviously doesn't care what a flight attendant is going through, or doesn't care what a TSA worker that we talked to yesterday is going through, or the people who are actually on a flight, maybe to go visit a loved one in the hospital, or to go to whatever.
Work. Their job is dependent on traveling.
But me as a husband, I don't want my wife getting into a hotel in New York at 3:30 in the morning. I don't like it. This flight wasn't supposed to land at 1 a.m. or even midnight. It was several hours delayed.
Right.
And so, has this government shutdown affected everyone? Well, if you're getting SNAP benefits, absolutely. By the way, if you're a veteran, happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans.
No SNAP benefits for you, by the way. That's what the Supreme Court said. Trump wanted it. They said, okay.
Take it up with them, Zach.
Take it up with them, unfortunately. And so I think this has kind of hit, a lot of people. And in talking to my wife, she goes, and this was interesting. As much of a pain as it is for her and for me to hear what kind of she's going through, she listened to our interview with the TSA agent.
Oh, the woman who hasn't got paid since September.
And she said, I don't know why I'm even complaining.
Well, because she's dealing with the delays.
Of course.
But she's still getting paid to work. These people are working at the airport, air traffic control, or TSA and not getting paid.
For my wife, it is a massive headache. For our friend Martina, who is a TSA agent who hasn't made any money because the government hasn't paid her, she has 3 kids and is getting evicted. Those are real life problems.
Yeah.
And annoyance is one thing. Having your job extended from an 8 to 10 hour day to a 15-hour day, it's awful, but it is an inconvenience. What our friend is going through from the TSA, that is real. That is where am I gonna get money to keep a roof over my children's home? And shame on the government.
And
shame
feed
on
the kids.
Trump.
And,
shame on the Democrats. Shame on the Republicans. You guys are just absolutely horrific human beings for allowing this to happen. And really, the end of the day, there's not a single person that cares. Not a single one, and that's just what's disappointing.
Doesn't affect them. No. They're back on their private jets heading back to Washington, D.C.
Who did Meghan McCain say was taking a private jet? Oh, Senator Warren.
Yeah. But not the only one.
Not the only one.
Not the only one. Yeah.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.